Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show brought to you by Bet365. We got AJ, we got Eric, we got Rudo coming to you live before the Avs take on the Vegas Golden Knights in the middle of the night. These national games with late starts, man, I tell you. Yeah. I'd rather do anything else. What happened to our beautiful matinee games? Bring those back. They usually win matinee games.
Yeah, that Panthers game really buttered us up for this one. They really turned us into some saucy boys. I did not appreciate that. Made me feel way good about life, and now we have to go and live through this bullshit.
Well, you did not appreciate the last game the Avs played against Vegas either. Oof. So you're hoping for better this time. And certainly Vegas' side of the lineup is
deteriorating every time they send out more information.
It's not great. It's not looking great for them right now. Yuri Patera, their third goaltender, I believe, is starting. I don't know if it's official. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yes.
And then they're also missing multiple other pieces. Not that the Avs are the picture of health on the other side of this either, as they're still out missing multiple people. Lehkonen will go on the trip with them, but is not going today. So no big surprise there.
But, no Josh Manson.
Yeah, no Manson still.
I was really hoping that Manson would play because I wanted to pick him up in fantasy.
There, the truth comes out.
He looked good on the ice this morning. I mean, if you would have told me, I would have said, yeah, he's in. But
is what it is. That's January hockey, right? Two teams with holes in it that just have to go out and do what they can.
Yeah, just making it up. They're like, we got guys who are sick. You know that this is game 4 of a playoff round or something. Those guys are getting IV bags.
Absolutely playing, yeah.
They're getting the Dayquil and Afrin at the same time in between periods. Whatever you got to do.
What a Mountain Dew.
Hell yeah.
Mountain Dew, it'll clear you out, all right? Maybe Sprite better with all the carbonation. But anyway, we also got Jared Bednar's thoughts on the situation, not just with Vegas, but the Avs as a whole at morning skate today. So let's roll that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Coach, facing Vegas, I know the last time you saw this group didn't get the result you wanted. What's sort of the first mentality that you and the team kind of have heading into this game?
Go repeat what we did last game.
Yeah.
So, all these top teams are very similar in the makeup and their ability to both create offense and defend, and we got to play a complete 200-foot game. And no better example of that for our team than I think last game against Boston. It was a hard-fought game, but we were consistent all the way through the game. We competed hard, executed well, and we defended the right way. So, that's a recipe for success, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. You want to try and have that same sort of mentality.
Josh Manson is out there. Is he good to go today, or?
No, he's not. He's close. He's getting better, but he's not going to go tonight.
Miles Wood still
sick.
Game time decision.
He'll miss tonight too. Yep.
What's been the key to playing so well at home this year? How do you keep that up?
Pretty good starts. Like our third periods at home, like we're down, we still feel like we have an opportunity to come back and win hockey games. But to be honest, goes back to what I kind of just said. We've been more consistent at home than we've been on the road. We haven't taken nights off. We've had some lapses in our game within games, but I think just our mindset to play the right way, the competitiveness of our team has been more consistent at home.
McCann, a big part of that on this point streak. He keeps setting records, so it's hard to, put everything into perspective sometimes. But to start a season with 22, games in a row at home with a point, how impressive do you think that is?
It probably hasn't been done in a while, I'm assuming. So I'd say it's pretty impressive. But again, that's what we've kind of come to expect from Nate, right? He's going to make an impact on the game on a nightly basis, highly consistent player in doing that. And, he likes playing here in front of our fans. And, so he's finding a way to execute. Even if it's not his best night, he doesn't have his best legs, he's still finding a way to contribute. And that's what top players do. And but 22 games in a row, still quite the accomplishment.
Heading out on the road for 5 games against some pretty good teams, how important is it to end this 3-game homestand on a good note?
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if you don't, I think. But we're working on our game, trying to be, a team that can win every night. We've done a nice job of that over the last month. I think you're playing another top team. Margin for error is small. So the attention to detail and limiting our mistakes and making sure we're not giving up big mistakes is important, but it starts with the goaltender all the way through our lineup. Carving out another home win here would be huge. We got to go off, and we're playing Toronto and Boston, et cetera, on the road, and tough teams, tough buildings, tough opponents, and it's one of our longest trips of the year at 8 days and 5 games. So, carving out points while we're at home is pretty important, but it's not the be-all, end-all.
Logan O'Connor's been someone you've been able to move up and down whenever needed this year. Is a big part of that just because you know what kind of effort you're going to get from him every single night?
That's it. I mean, so when you're looking to put players into a spot in a lineup, the best gift for a coach is to know exactly what you're going to get. And it doesn't matter where he plays, 4th line, 3rd line, 2nd line, you know exactly how he's going to play. He doesn't change his game when I move him with skilled players. He's just going to go do what he does because I'm putting him there because he's a complement to those guys, and he can help those guys in certain areas of the game, and they can help him in others. So, it's nice to, that's another guy that's, really consistent at what he does, start to finish, year to year, game to game, week to week. He's going to bring it as hard as he can every night. He'll maybe have some off nights, but they're few and far between.
You mentioned some things to consider with Georgiev's workload coming up. What is UC Harkla's influence and input on those decisions?
Well, he's in the most communication with Gorgie, right? So he knows how Gorgie's feeling about his game, how he's feeling from an energy level standpoint, where he's at mentally. And, and then we converse and make a decision on the goaltender, So we listen to Gorgie first, and then sometimes we give him a break even when he doesn't want it, So he's the guy that likes the net. And if he's playing well enough, he'll probably get it on most nights. But, we do want to take a look at the upcoming schedule, at least short term, and kind of pick out some starts where or some nights where he can get a rest.
All right. So, Bednar kind of covering all of his bases. I did find it interesting. He seemed pretty relaxed about tonight. He said, if we don't win the homestand, you'd like to win it, but not that big a deal.
He's wrong. What does he know?
A thing or two about winning a Stanley Cup.
Whatever. This is his 8th year as the Avs head coach.
Oh God, you really are embracing Twitter.
He's
today, aren't you?
He's won 1 out of his 7 previous tries.
Sarcasm, people.
That's not any good. It's nonsense, man.
No, you're right, because I was there at the presser. He looked relaxed. He was, there's days that he's like more business than others.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying today wasn't taking it more business-like approach, but he was, he was more like I felt last game he was a little sharp, like short and brisk, you know what I mean? Where tonight he was more back to himself, you know what I mean? Like
giving
answers and not just no.
Except for when someone asked him about injuries and sickness. That is, then it's back to the one-word answer.
But he gave it the smile. Though.
All of a sudden, that succinctness comes right back.
Is what it is. From the Avs side of things, as we did have Ken from Sinbin in the chat, shout out our homie. 2 teams playing not super healthy hockey right now.
Yeah.
Which team does that benefit more?
Colorado.
Okay. Why?
Because Vegas' superpower over the last couple of years, and the number one reason it's been as competitive as it's been, is that they kill you with depth. Their high-end guys are great. Jack Eichel's awesome. Mark Stone's really, really good. in this matchup in particular, Jonathan Marchessault eats alive the Avalanche, but Nathan McKinnon's a monster. And there's just Jack Eichel's not Nathan McKinnon. You know, like, I'm sorry.
It's just true. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Val Nichushkin's doing a pretty good Mark Stone impression right now.
No kidding.
So, you know, when you talk about neutralizing some of that, then you get into, okay, well, Vegas has always had that depth.
Yeah.
They don't right now. Depth is just not as good as it normally is when it's as beat up. And they're not as dynamic on the back end. You know, not having a Shea Theodore back there.
Yeah.
It's important. It's a big deal. You know, it's kind of a neutralizer for not having a Bo Byram. Shea Theodore's better, but you know, Bo Byram is pretty important. Josh Manson's pretty important. Yeah. So they're both two beat up teams, and so for me, it always comes back to this: Colorado's best players are just better. There's nothing. Alex Pietrangelo is going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. He's not Cale Makar, especially at this point in his career. He's just not. So, if Colorado's best players can be the best players, they'll probably win, especially against Jiri Patera, who seems to be immune from the magic goalie dust that they sprinkle on a lot of their guys. God. It has not kicked in with Jiri Patera yet. I'll say that, and he'll shut them out tonight. So
don't put that evil out there.
I'm expecting a big night from Jiri Patera because every time I'm on the pregame show that I'm like, this is a weakness for this team. They go out there and dominate, and I'm like, I'm an asshole. What do I know?
Nope. Tonight's the night where the Avs drop a big bomb, perhaps. On the other side,
why can be so violent?
I don't know. We were talking about Oppenheimer earlier. It's in my head.
Would that make Bednar the director of the Manhattan Project?
The Avs a nuclear bomb?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. I mean, this is good.
Now we're going weird places for sure. We do have some big keys though from Big E for tonight's game, and presumably the Avs star players.
Well, call me Michael Malone tonight. You know, I mean, I got the Michael Malone look.
You really do have it going on.
Yeah.
You need to call rage timeouts in the middle of watching the game downstairs.
I'm just saying. I got the the little scruff and the shirt. Anyway. I wrote down number 1, best forechecking game of the season. You know, pin him down in their end. I'll tell you one thing. It sounds stupid, but the more time you play in the offensive zone, the less time you're in your own end. And I think I know Vegas likes to do it that way too. They try to get out of their own end quick like the Avs. So beat them at their own game and just get on top of them. Don't let them get out. And no one and done. Get on the rebounds, especially if it's Patera and net. Make lots of plays low to high, you know, not just plays off the rush. Right? We all love rush goals. It's awesome. Great. Great. Wow. You know what I mean? But a lot of times if you don't score, it's pucks out and then you're not really generating anything. So,
yeah.
And I'm not saying not to try to get rush chances. I'm just saying if it's not there, let's generate differently. Number 2, smart in the neutral zone. I mean, those guys are still good. They're one of the best teams to take time and space away in a neutral zone. They are. Vegas has always been built that way. Guys like McNabb, they've been making a living between the two Blues. And, you know, that's why he's in the league. I mean, you just said it. Joey Hishon, you know. I'm just saying. We're talking about Charlie McAvoy, but
too deep of a cut.
Yeah, that's a deep one. Meat and potato team mentality they are, right? So blue lines are crucial as they have great transitional players as well. We just talked about Eichel, Marchessault, Stone. I was watching Eichel this morning. Like he's a specimen too. He's a beast. You don't realize that he is a powerful, legit number 1 center in this league, right? So they got the guys that can transition in the neutral zone. So let's be ready to go. And then number 3, revenge game. I mean, Tiff talked about it earlier today, too. Have some pride. I don't care what you say. 7 lost last game, and every game is different. And we all know there's lineup changes and everything, banged up teams, but there's no excuses. You gotta come back. You can't let these guys walk all over you. You're dealing with the last 2 Stanley Cup champs, right? So have a little bit of pride and get up a little bit today. And again, I won't even touch the goaltending. I think that's a given now until the end of the year, like as a key. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm still gonna throw it in there. Just slide that in there.
We've talked about it so much lately.
Please be better than Yuri
Yeah.
Patera.
Yeah,
How's that?
you got to beat that guy. You got to be better.
And
than
I'm not
that
saying
guy.
Yuri Patera is bad. I'm saying it's just not an
I'll
experience.
say it.
And,
He's bad.
Don't say
no,
it. Don't
buddy.
say it. Don't say. Don't
No, no,
say it in the
hold on.
post game, man. God,
Hold on.
come on.
It's a race. It's a race. But
We're not superstitious, but we're a little stitious.
No,
Bad players can have good
we're
games.
saying
But
he's not
he's
an
bad.
experienced NHL goalie. There you go. That sounds better.
That's a really polite way to put that, sir.
Exactly. And then we didn't talk about it earlier, but there's also Rantanen. Remember, we're comparing the two sides. Jeez.
Yep.
We always tend to forget about Mikko. He only scored 55 goals last
Miko
year.
also tends to forget about Miko. You never really know if he's fully there on any given night.
there's only one thing that doesn't forget about Miko: the box score.
Ismo Lehkonen.
I wish he bets he could forget about Miko right now. Or I bet he wishes. There you go. Got it in there. You forgot about the most important key of the game, though, E. Make sure the dogs are off.
The dogs will be off. The dogs will be. There's no watch along, which stinks because I like watch alongs.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nuggets play tonight,
Yeah.
too. But
So the dogs will still be off.
Good rivalry games tonight, though. Avs Vegas, Nuggets Jazz.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jazz, yeah.
I mean, it's like a regional, you know.
That's true. It's close, so.
It's nice to beat those guys. Never happens.
looking at these two teams.
Oh, can I have a question? Can I ask a question?
Oh, pop off.
Eric, I want to specifically ask you about because you even put it in there, revenge game, the 7-0. How much of a talking point is that when the 7-0 game was 30 games ago?
Yeah.
How much of that is actually a thing where they're like, these guys embarrassed us last time?
Oh, it is a thing. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you right now. Every game is different. Rude always say you can only play the game on the schedule, right? I get that. I don't remember the 7-0 game. Was that 3 games in 4 nights? Was it back-to-back? I don't remember. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to, but I don't remember. I don't think it was. I think
Wasn't
it was
any
just
of
a friggin'.
They just got smoked.
Just got smoked. And I think that you're Vegas that night, and again tonight, it's the Avalanche are an upper echelon team. You want to know where you're at. You want to know where your game's at. I don't care who's missing. There's games like that in the playoffs too. You're missing players. Your guys are suspended or whatever it is. There's key guys out. You got to measure yourselves as teams against the best teams in the league. So it was a failed test for the Av on that 7-0 game. Tonight's another game to measure yourself against the last Stanley Cup champs. They are. I mean, they won the cup. And then the year before, the Avs won the cup. So for Vegas, it's the same thing. It's the same stick. And you want to measure yourself as a decor against Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, you know. And tonight is the same thing for the Avs. Like, you want to measure yourself against Eichel and all those things. So yeah, it is talked about, and you want to make sure because you're going to face them somewhere. If you want to get out of the West, you're going to have to face one another. If obviously things go well for both teams, but so you can't let teams walk all over you. You know what I mean? So you got to at some point you just say, "Hey, listen, not again tonight."
How much of a measuring stick is it? Did I say it right? Did I say
You
it
did
weird?
not. You
Fuck.
said it weird.
Measure. He's from
All right.
Texas.
How much of a measuring stick is it?
Just commit.
It is what it is, man.
He said it.
Is it when a team has been so bad like Vegas has been lately?
Yeah.
Because we've talked in the past, don't be the get right game for another team, especially a top team that you have a lot of respect for. Don't be the team where they're like, that was our jumping off point. They fixed it against us.
But as you measure yourself again.
You guys are all assholes.
I can't even say it. As you measure yourself against, you know what you said, don't be the get right, the be right team, whatever you call that. But on the flip side, is the same thing too, because for Vegas, it's like the Avs are a perfect opponent because like we haven't played the best lately. Then it's like, you know what, freaking frack, we're playing against a good team. You know what I mean? So it goes both ways, and so the Avs are that team tonight. In my book, they are the team for them to get out of their funk. Yeah, even though they won last game 5-2, but you're talking, they beat a guy in the East, the Islanders, but 5-2 it was, right? Yeah.
How long are those memories, though? You're talking about the 7-0 game. Did the core of the Avalanche go all the way back to the 21 playoffs?
Yeah,
getting swept by that Vegas team.
Yeah, hey, there's somewhere somehow it's a little bit of a rivalry, right? Because there was that playoff round that really hurt of the Avs players and the Avs fans and management, right? I mean, it's a
can't
it's
talk
a tough
about
one.
it.
Yeah, no. See, AJ's dying. He's already crying. You talk Vegas, he cries. His left ear goes. Look, there's a tear in there. And then, but you're right. And I just go back to this year, the 7-0. But it's like, and also it's like, damn, they got the cup last year. It's their cup now, right? I always say it's your cup until you lose it. So right now, for me, the cup is Vegas's cup, right? Until the playoffs start this year, and that's theirs. They're the defending champs. That's theirs, and they can claim it. They're the last ones to touch it, But
I'm just trying to build an argument for a rivalry here, right?
yes,
Because obviously the Avs 1.0 had the Red Wings greatest rivalry in the history of sports, whatever.
yeah.
You'll never get to that level. But it's been a long time since the Avs have had a proper rival. It was kind of, sort of Minnesota for a little while there.
No, I agree. For me, it's VGK. For me,
they're
it's
the
Vegas.
closest one to
In my book, it is. And again, they make AJ cry. They make,
They don't make me cry that much.
they make an argument that they're the best team in the league. They won last year, right? You know what I mean? So that is an obstacle for the Avalanche, as they are both in the Western Conference. You know what I mean? That if you want to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, like, you'll probably have to get through them.
Yep.
Just like back then, we
You
had
should
to
be
get
planning
through.
for it, that's for sure.
We had to get through one another. Colorado and Detroit.
Yep.
Or then you could throw Dallas in there back then too. But it was like, I feel that the Vegas is the Red Wings of the West, in a sense that, you have to go through one another, if you want to get out of it.
Well, it would be nice if
my book.
the Avs would view them that way and start building their roster in a similar fashion. A little more YOLO and a little less, hey, we've got to worry about 5 years from now. Because that's one thing that I love about Vegas is that they've gone for it. They've said, you know what, we're figuring it out. Hey, we want to keep Ivan Barbashev. Thanks for everything, Riley Smith. Get the hell out of town. And that it's kind of a ruthless thing to do. And we've been like, oh, that's not any way to run an organization. They want a Stanley Cup. I'd like to see the Avs do a little bit of that ruthless, get a little bit of cutthroat in them. Learn that's the lesson that you can take from Vegas. It can pay off sometimes. You go hard in the paint like that.
Let's call Elias Lindholm right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm sure you've got
No.
I'm sure you got Connie's number in there. I'll call him up. I'll tell him. I'll be like, look, man, Sean Behrens is a future on your blue line next to Rasmus Anderson. You don't even need that first round pick. You need Sean Behrens.
Bear dog.
All right. Let's rein it back in to tonight, though. You're the foodie here. Yes. Who's got to eat for the Avs tonight?
Well, wow, that's an easy one. I mean, the big dog's got to eat, right? Nate Dogg's got to eat. Yeah. He's got to eat Eichel up, right? I mean, that's awesome. You're Eichel. You're talking about we always go the measuring stick. Yeah, right. You're Eichel. Who's the hottest player in the NHL right now? Nate McKinnon. I mean, there's no ifs and buts. Eichel can say, "Yeah, I won the cup last year." I know, and then the year before McKinnon did. So it's a dream matchup for who wants to eat. I mean, like, I'm McKinnon tonight. I want to eat him up. And then on D, I'm gonna go. We already talked about Georgie. I mean, Georgie's got to eat Patera alive. The guy across, he's got to have a buffet with him.
Steady diet of pucks for Georgiev.
Just eat him up. Just buffet. You want not a Phoebe buffet, but a buffet. And then on D tonight, I'm going to go my guy that's got to eat tonight. I'm going to go with Sammy G. You know what I mean? I want Sammy G to be a stud tonight. Obviously, we know Kale and Taser and stuff, but I think Sammy goes. He's my hungry dog back there tonight.
I'm really tempted to just start making barking sounds right now.
I tell you what, if Sam Girard scores tonight, we'll open the post-game pod with barking.
I'm in. Sold.
You guys know it's been 11 games since Ross Colton scored a goal?
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody asked
11 games he's played, or including the ones he missed?
Okay, 11 games that he's been in.
Okay.
Bedsy.
It would be messed up if I'm including games he missed. That's cold-blooded.
It would technically be true.
They asked Ben, somebody did. I don't remember who. Somebody asked him last presser in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, would you like more production out of Roscoe?
What's he going to say?
Gave it the smile.
No.
Like, well, I mean, we want everyone.
No, I don't want that guy to score goals. No.
But it was more a question formed as like, oh wow, it's been 11 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Come on, let's learn to ask questions. It's been 11 games since he scored a goal. What does Ross Colton need to do in order to get back on the score sheet? You're welcome, journalism. Golly.
It's almost like you're good at this job.
I was going to say, do I need to go back in there and teach some lessons? Come on. No, I'm just kidding around.
Pizza Hut.
Straight up, though, Ross Colton, you need that.
Yep.
There's no William Karlsson on the other side. That 2C is kind of a big thing that they have that Colorado doesn't. William Karlsson's also a guy that they have been able to match up successfully against Nathan MacKinnon to try and neutralize some of the big dog. So not having that guy in the middle of the ice, that's an advantage for the Avalanche. That means and knowing how Bednar likes to do it, Bednar likes best on best. He does not shy away from it. That means Ross Colton's going to get to go up against somebody else. Great. Go do it. Go do it, man. They paid you $4 million and gave up a top 40 draft pick for your services. Go be a little bit better than you have been. Not that he's been bad, because he has not been, but a little bit better than he has been. You can't be going 11 games without scoring a goal if you're going to be of the importance to the roster that Ross Colton is.
I agree.
So I need him to do some. I need him to be better tonight.
Here's the way I used to look at it. Me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about Ross Colton is a lot better than I was. That's not trying to compare myself to him. But when I was playing with the Avs, like, kind of a less role, but like, you know, you're trying to score 20 goals, let's say, right? And it goes back to my stupid 10-game segments that I talk all the time. I used to always look it up like this and say, okay, there's 2 bonus games, and there's 8 10-game segments, right?
Yeah.
If I can score 2, then there's a bonus in there somewhere. You're on a 20 goal, you know what I mean? Like 16, then somewhere you have a 3-game, you know, a 3-goal segment. You're about very close to a 20-goal season. But I'll tell you one thing, you look and then you're like, oh shit, you know, I'm over 10 this segment. You know, I'm in the next segment, you know, it's like game 8, you're still at, you're like, oh boy. I know it's not the pressure of Nate MacKinnon or back then me with Sakic, Forsberg, but you do put pressure on yourself to help out at times, right? You know what I mean? And I remember, like, you're in that second segment and you're going for bagels again, and you're like, oh God. And it starts to get to you. Even though I like bagels, I don't like those kinds of bagels. But yeah, it does get to you. If you're Colton and stuff, it does. And if you're in a Canadian market, well, then they really let you know. Here it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
You know, nobody talks about it.
You go 4 games without scoring a goal in Montreal, and they put up moving signs in your front yard.
And you're like, I averaged 6 goals the last 10 years. Like, I'm at 4, and there's 38 games to go. I'm fine, you know, whatever. But they don't understand that. You got to score every day, you know.
Well, score every day with Bet365.
Right.
You can get your bets in with them. Mine tonight, I'm going with Georgiev over on saves. They're going to need him. He's got to be better than that guy on the other side. Taking the Avs to cover, plus 170. You know, Patera being in might help that bet quite a bit. And then
Keep saying that shit, man. He's going to shut him out.
he might.
No.
You son of a...
It's hockey, dude. Weird stuff happens. But, you know, if you're betting the odds, just saying. And then I just had a vibe tonight. I felt the 4-1, so I went with it. No expectations on that bet, but when you see something you're feeling, it's plus 1,600, you know, why not throw a couple bucks down on it?
Is that 4-1? Does that apply to either team?
It does not.
That's bullshit. If you throw a dart and get a 4-1 score correct, it shouldn't matter who wins and who loses.
Well, tough for you, bud. When I get it right tonight, I am not buying you dinner.
You didn't even buy you dinner tonight.
You're not, I did. I bought myself second dinner.
Yes.
What a hobbit. What a hobbit.
Go get your bets in with Bet365. When you sign up today with the DNVR 365 code and you put $10 in your account, take a screenshot, send that over to promo@thednvr.com, and you get yourself a free DNVR shirt. So if you want to rep the Avs DNVR shirts, it's good. You can go get it for free just by signing up with the DNVR 365 code at Bet365 and putting $10 in your account. Of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado, and if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. We're running up on puck drop here, so we are going to wrap this show up. No watch along, as we mentioned, but we will be live post-game, so tune in. Whatever happens in this one, we'll break it all down for you. Maybe we'll bark like dogs, or maybe we'll be purring like cats. I don't know. We'll see.
I will not be purring.
What if the Avs drop 10 on them or something?
Okay.
Then we can.
Sure.
We'll see you in the post game. Talk to you later.
Boom.
We all silly like the mayor.